Yeah, and thanks for everyone being here, Andra and Lynn for doing a lot of the organizing with this, and Sue and Nicole for also helping on the Biocuration side of this. And so today we're going to introduce to you Gene Wiki, and hopefully you will see, if you haven't already tried it out, some of the utilities from Gene Wiki, you'll see that there is a lot of useful applications, and we'll go through that today. If you want to follow along with us on Twitter, we each have Twitter accounts. I think Andra linked his in the main slide, but you can follow the hashtag here. For the workshop, let me reshare my screen here to desktop 2. For the workshop, here's the link, and I'll put this is all in the chat. So if you're not already on the Slack channel, I think there are some people that already joined just now. If you're not already in the Slack channel, definitely be sure to follow that. And then here are some additional links. So one link you'll want to know is the program. So that's what I've clicked on here. And then through the program, you can see we have these 2 breakout rooms. We do want to know what people are signed up for, because in order for us to assign your breakout room, we need to be able to see what you've requested. Otherwise, you won't have a breakout room. So that you can do right here. That will take you a couple of seconds. And then if you want direct access to the slides, you also have access to that. Again, these are all in the Slack channel, but just to put them here for you. And if there are any additional questions, feel free to ask them in the Slack or the Zoom. I'll be kind of moderating as Andra and Lynn do the presentation. And with that, I'll turn it over to Andra.
So,
and then if people wouldn't mind, if you're not talking, unless you have a question about something, maybe no video unless you might be the speaker.
Yeah. And please mute if you're not speaking, just so for background noise.
So welcome today. I will start with a brief introduction of the Gene Wiki project, where I'm collaborating with Lynn and Saba and others. And in the Gene Wiki project, we are leveraging Wikidata as a central infrastructure for life science data, and it's as a hub for linked data to other linked data databases. So what is Gene Wiki? The Gene Wiki project started in 2008 with the initial aim to create a Wikipedia article in the English Wikipedia for every human gene. This was done by creating the Wikipedia pages by adding 2 parts. First of all, the info boxes. The info box is a part of a Wikipedia article that presents and renders structured data that is imported from various databases. So in this example, you'll see different identifiers, expression patterns, and that's nicely rendered in the info boxes. And at the same time, add summarized knowledge from the references, etc. So the idea was and is to, by creating stubs, the Wikipedia community starts enriching Wikipedia for those specific Wikipedia articles. So this is an example of such a Wikipedia article of a readlin, and which is a rich source for additional knowledge. However, as trying to extract this, the expression of the protein has been found to be significantly lower in schizophrenia and psychotic bipolar disorder. It's very straightforward and easy for a human reader. However, to have computer analysis or to ask more complex queries, extract more quantities information, which is in Wikipedia, such as other proteins that are involved in the same disease, it is really, really hard to get that information out. Another thing about Wikipedia is it's a large, interconnected, but independently maintained network of 300 language communities. And the information is not evenly distributed over the different language communities, language versions. So here I have an example of the ICD-10 code for malaria. And depending on the language that you're assessing, whether it's Dutch, Greek, English, Japanese, or sorry, that's an error, it should be Hindi, you'll get different numbers. So the Dutch Wikipedia only mentions B50, whereas the English Wikipedia and the Japanese Wikipedia mentions B50 to B54. And trying to synchronize this across the different 300 language informations takes time and effort, and needs to be done by the independent communities that drive the different language versions. So in 2012, the Wikidata emerged, which actually today, 8 years ago, because today is Wikidata's birthday, which is like it's from the same organization, the Wikimedia Foundation, that hosts Wikipedia, and it's similar to Wikipedia in the sense that what Wikipedia is to text, Wikidata is to data. It's completely free, even for commercial usage. Anybody can contribute. It covers all domains of knowledge, so not only the life science, but also history, cultural, GLAMs, libraries, museums, you name it. It has an extensive item history. It integrates well with the semantic web. It's stable, where research projects have end times, which also sometimes dictate the availability of the data. The data can live on Wikidata, and it's actively developed, and there is a large number of editors. So now I'm going to give a quick demo of the infrastructure of Wikidata, starting with a Wikipedia article. So if this is a Wikipedia article of a mutation of the brand gene. Now, if we want to go to the Wikidata item, there is a link here in the left. By going there, we're entering the Wikidata item. The Wikidata item then again can be structured in three sections. There is the header section, which contains multilingual language descriptions and synonyms. Then there are the statements, where the statements are derived from various primary resources. And there are the links. So for this mutation, there are 3 Wikipedia articles in English, Farsi, and Norwegian. If we then go to, so now we're entering the links to, no, I'm going too fast. So if we want to now browse to other missense variants, we can, by clicking, can explore different other missense variants and see that the Wikipedia article is missing here, but there are links and links to other databases that can be explored that has information on these gene variants. And this information is then also available in Sparkle queries. So we can, for example, start with a cat. We have a quick query here, and you can make it as complex as we want, and we'll demonstrate some more complex queries later in the program. So what Wikidata offers, it started as a knowledge graph for the Wikipedia articles, but now has a merit on its own as a hub to not only Wikipedia but also other databases, and that data and that knowledge is available in a unified way. So now moving forward. So that's the end of my quick introduction. This is our latest paper, which is available online, and we have to thank everyone involved here, as well as the thousands of Wikidatians. And we have some links here that I suggest to discuss. And now I want to hand this over to Lynn.
Okay. Sorry, did you hear any of that?
No.
It made me muted and unmuted. It kept flashing. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. I was saying I'm really happy that the Biocuration community can come together for this meeting, that we found new inventive ways to reach out to each other and to share information and to continue working together, despite what's going on in the world. Today I'm going to talk about briefly how the disease ontology, as one of the many biomedical ontologies that are out there and that we're familiar with, teamed up with the Wikidata team. We're on our second R1, so I've been doing this for a bit, to really integrate additional curated knowledge into a Wikidata to enhance what the Gene Wiki project had already been doing. And so I'll introduce you to that, what we've been doing with that, and then just really briefly the symptom ontology, which is one of the examples we're using today. And the reason we chose that is it's a part of the umbrella project of the Human Disease Ontology Project. It's also CC0, and it's a way for us to augment the information we've already incorporated into Wikidata through the disease ontology. All right, let's see if this will advance. All right. All right, sorry, I'm trying to get it to advance and it's not. Oh, okay, it did. All right, good. All right, maybe just a little delay. Oh, on, okay. All right, cool. All right, here we go. So for the disease ontology, if you're not familiar with it, it is an open biomedical ontology for the domain of human disease. We're a genomic resource for NIH, NIH. We've been working on this project for about 15 years. The reason we teamed up with Wikidata in this case is that it was a domain ontology. It was a concise project, and genes and disease was the type of data we wanted to connect. One thing to mention is that we utilize both oboe and owl trees in the ontology world, which means we're able to have a description of just diseases, but also from this little pop-up window you can see, use other biomedical ontologies, importing them so that we can see, add additional information about diseases based on this other information. Say in particular what phenotypes are associated with what diseases, for an example. Okay, and then I'll go on. Great. Okay, so for the Wikidata project, what we want to do is have highly curated data that would also documented well, so that we would know the provenance of the data. So we did it for both drugs on the right-hand side from PubChem and Drug Bank and the disease ontology. We wanted to be able to set up systems so we could automate the QC, automate the loading, and bring all of that together with genes into Wikidata. And the reason community is on this slide is that community played a pivotal role. If you haven't worked in the Wikidata, Wikipedia community before, you may be surprised to learn that the community is a big aspect of it. So it's not just the people that are on the particular grant doing the work. The community has a lot of input. There's a whole proposal stages where they give you lots of great feedback, but also the community has a lot to do with the data that's there. So I think it's an integral part of that, this aspect that's important to note. Okay. Great. So data modeling came first. So we knew we wanted to connect these types of data. How do we do that? We looked at different relationships between these concepts and then modeled all of that out. We tested it with some initial data. How would it work? How would it come together? And this is the same sort of format we've done for every type of new data we brought in subsequently. We really want to model it out, figure out, does it biologically make sense? Then how do we bring that into the Wikipedia space? In the Wikidata space, rather, so it makes sense in that system as well. So it's just kind of one of the initial steps you do. Okay, great. And I'm showing you this slide, again, just to really show you the diversity of information of what we wanted to bring together. So as Andra was saying, and we'll talk about even further, we have genes, diseases, and drugs, but how do you link them up? Right? So we had to bring that sort of information together, but then we had to automate that information by what we call bots, and they'll be talked about later by Saba. Really, it's an automated system that queries the data, does a QC, brings the data in, and identifies a curation sets that we have to do. So in this case, it's one nice thing is you can have a very enriched data set. As you can see for COVID-19, I only give you a bit of the page, but the number of articles in different languages is quite, over 140? My glasses aren't wrong. Yeah, over 140. And then you can have all sorts of different ID space you can link out to it as well. So it's a really growing, energetic kind of system. Okay, and one other point I wanted to make about the languages is that it's really provides access to many different communities. what we found over time, and this is a figure that Andra had put together this last year, is really giving you a sense of the number of terms in each language. And this is a little bit out of date, so it has grown, but different communities can have interest in an area of Wikidata and then add those translations. It really does add to the larger community's information. And I think it's as an ontologist, I didn't have to translate my terms. They were translated by the community. So it's really an enriching activity. Okay, so a little bit about the crowdsourcing aspect. So beyond getting the initial bot in place and getting the data integrated, going through those steps, a little further along in the project, we sought out what data was coming in through Wikidata from the community itself. Because people, you know, as we'll show in one of the breakouts, you can add data. Oh, anyone can add data to Wikidata. You create a login, and there you go. But there's quite a bit of information coming in this way. So on the Wikidata side, there was Sparkle queries written to capture this information, do some QC. We built Jenkins instance so that we can have reports every month of what the new data is, and that allows the curators on the disease ontology project to then assess this information. But it's a very targeted set of curation. I found it very useful. We've added thousands of cross-references in this way, and it's an ongoing process. So it's very beneficial to the ontology, and then also really capturing the information from the Wikidata community. And it's fed back through the system as well. Lots of QC, which is good. Okay. And next couple slides, and we're almost there. So another thing I wanted to show you about exploring disease, Andra had a slide showing you about the Wikidata query service. Now this is a fantastic service that allows you really to mine and play with the data that's in Wikidata. And there are a number of those pre-set up queries, like Andra did cats. This is one of the disease ones, looking at infectious diseases, and then their various drug disease interaction information. But the reason I'm also pointing out is I want to expose you a little bit to Sparkle. You don't have to become a Sparkle aficionado, but just say if you wanted to change the language in here, you can see in the middle of this code, there's a little EN in quotes. You could change it for the code. Maybe you want to do French, put a little FR in there instead. It allows you to play with the data, I think in a very safe way, and then explore the information. And then one thing I'll show you next is just a little bit of the little blue button to execute, is just a little bit of the output. It produced a network graph. This is the result. I just pulled out a piece of it in a screenshot. But this is showing you the diversity of data that's associated with COVID-19. If you just take a look around and kind of go circle with your eyes, there's a lot of different information that's associated. And I think you get more of a nice visual this way, more than just the list we show you. But it's a very rich data set, and it's continually growing, and many sources of input. Okay, and just last two slides to introduce you to the symptom ontology. This is an ontology we started 15 years ago along with the disease ontology project because we wanted to have a rigorous way to collect symptoms. So over time, it has it's been pretty steady. We've been integrating more information. But one thing I want to point out on the ontology side, the screenshot I'm showing you on the right in the blue box, this is from the disease ontology website. What these imports allow us to do is to have another view of disease. So this is the view through symptoms. So this screenshot is showing you at least a partial list of all of the diseases that have the symptom pain annotated to them. And so this allows another way to look at information from a different perspective, but all within the ontology itself. And there's links there, and then you'll have the slides if you want to explore. And then just one last slide. Wanted to explain a little bit of what it took to bring in the symptom ontology for this workshop. So this was new. Andra, I think, proposed it in the spring, this would be a good example for a number of reasons. It's CC0, which is what we want in Wikidata. It had the structured information that's associated with diseases. But what part of the process I'm pointing out here is this human community aspect I pointed out earlier. You have to make proposals. It's pretty well outlined and straightforward in the Wikidata system how to do it. But this is where the community comes in again, to help you model it, to give you feedback. And then anyone who has an ontology is interested in doing this, we're happy to give you feedback on how to do it and pointers. But there are a lot of groups requesting ontology space. Ontology ID space in Wikidata. So I think it's really grown over the years. So that's it for me. If you have questions, please let us know.